Have you ever dreamed of someone who is no longer among us? That person who has left the physical realm but suddenly appears vividly in your dreams. What does this truly mean? Is it merely a manifestation of the subconscious, or is there something deeper behind it? According to Padre Pio, from the spiritual perspective, dreams about loved ones who have passed may carry profound messages from the spiritual realm. But why do we dream of them? Are they trying to communicate with us? Such dreams are often considered more than just memories. They can serve as spiritual communications, signs that the souls of the departed remain present and somehow intertwined with our lives. To understand the significance of these dreams, we must approach them with a sense of reverence and spiritual discernment. Often, such dreams are not coincidental, but serve as responses to prayers or as calls for intercession. They may be comforting signs that those souls are at peace or attempts to console us during challenging times. Dreams like these remind us that, while our loved ones may no longer be physically with us, their spiritual presence continues to accompany us. This realization brings comfort and a renewed sense of connection to those we hold dear. Take, for instance, the story of Teresa, who repeatedly dreamt of her grandmother in a garden filled with flowers. In these dreams, her grandmother appeared serene and smiling, a vision that initially puzzled Teresa. Inspired by the teachings of Padre Pio, she turned to prayer and reflection to seek clarity. She soon understood that this dream conveyed peace and encouragement, providing her with the strength to face personal struggles. This experience reinforces the belief that dreams with departed loved ones carry a special spiritual significance, offering guidance and solace when we need it most. Such dreams also hold practical implications. They may serve as warnings or as indicators of pivotal decisions we must make. Imagine Carlos, who dreamt of his deceased brother, cautioning him about an important choice he was about to make. In the dream, his brother's advice was clear and direct, urging Carlos to reconsider his path. Upon reflection and prayer, Carlos recognized this as a divine message and adjusted his plans, thus avoiding a potentially harmful outcome. This underscores the belief that dreams with loved ones can act as spiritual beacons, guiding us through life's uncertainties. Furthermore, dreams are often a channel through which the divine communicates with us. They reveal how intertwined the physical and spiritual realms are, emphasizing that death does not sever the bonds of love and care. These experiences teach us to pay attention to the details in our dreams, to pray for understanding, and to seek clarity in the messages they contain. Are you navigating a period of difficulty in your life? Perhaps financial struggles, a sense of aimlessness, or the weight of daily challenges are clouding your path. Inspired by the wisdom of Padre Pio, imagine being able to transform your life through faith and profound spiritual connection. Prayer has the power to uplift, to guide, and to reshape our lives in ways we might not fully comprehend. Consider the stories of countless individuals who, through prayer and spiritual reflection, have found answers to their deepest questions and solutions to their most pressing problems. The divine often works in subtle ways, using dreams and moments of introspection to illuminate the road ahead. The spiritual realm holds a vast network of communication. Dreams are not random occurrences, but intentional moments of contact meant to bring us closer to divine wisdom. When we encounter these dreams, we are invited to enter a sacred dialogue, to listen carefully, and to respond with open hearts and minds. This process of spiritual discernment enriches our faith and strengthens our connection to the divine, reminding us that we are never truly alone in our journey. Each dream carries its unique message, but the underlying theme remains consistent: love, guidance, and the assurance of a greater plan at work. Reflect on the moments when you have felt the presence of those who have passed, whether through a dream, a memory, or an inexplicable sense of comfort. These experiences serve as reminders of the enduring bond between the physical and spiritual realms. They invite us to embrace a life of deeper faith, rooted in the understanding that our loved ones continue to walk alongside us, even if unseen. The power of prayer cannot be underestimated in this journey. As Padre Pio often taught, it serves as a bridge between our world and the spiritual realm, allowing us to communicate, seek guidance, and find peace. When you dream of someone who has passed, take a moment to pray for them and to ask for clarity in understanding the dream's meaning. In doing so, you align yourself with the divine, opening your heart to receive the wisdom and comfort that such dreams are meant to provide. Life's challenges often seem insurmountable, but within the spiritual practices of prayer and reflection lies the key to overcoming them. Let these dreams remind you of the profound interconnectedness of all existence and inspire you to pursue a life of faith, guided by the loving presence of those who have gone before us. Through prayer, reflection, and a heart open to divine guidance, you can navigate life's complexities with grace and confidence. The journey of the soul is one of profound mystery and divine guidance. When challenges arise, when uncertainty looms, there exists a sacred connection between our spiritual being and the divine realm. Through the quiet moments of prayer and reflection, one can uncover the transformative power of faith, guiding the heart toward peace, prosperity, and protection. Padre Pio often reminded us that life is indeed a series of unexpected trials, but no one must face them alone. In the stillness of prayer, the soul is fortified, and the whispers of the divine become clear. Each moment spent in prayer is an opportunity to align oneself with the will of God, opening pathways where none seemed possible before. This spiritual discipline, as Padre Pio taught, is not merely an act of repetition, but a bridge to solutions, often appearing as miracles in the most unlikely circumstances. Consider the profound significance of dreams, especially those involving loved ones who have departed this earthly life. Padre Pio emphasized that these dreams are not mere figments of imagination or fleeting remnants of memory. They are sacred interactions between the spiritual and the mortal. Each dream carries with it the potential for divine instruction, a gentle nudge, or an urgent call to attention. When one perceives the presence of a departed loved one within the dream state, Padre Pio encouraged approaching this experience with humility and discernment. Dreams involving the deceased often emerge during times of great turmoil or decision-making. They serve as both comfort and guidance, illuminating paths forward or warning of potential missteps. Such dreams are imbued with symbols and emotions that require careful reflection. The serenity or distress of the soul within the dream may hold the key to understanding the message being conveyed. If the spirit appears at peace, it is often a reassurance of their continued presence and support. Conversely, if they seem troubled, it may indicate a need for immediate attention to an aspect of one's life. Take, for instance, a soul named Anna, who repeatedly dreamed of her late mother. Following Padre Pio's teachings, Anna sought clarity in prayer, interpreting these dreams as a call to reconnect with her family and faith. These dreams were vivid, filled with her mother's anxious expressions and gestures of caution. At the time, Anna stood on the brink of a major financial decision. She wrestled with doubt, feeling a subtle but persistent unease. As she reflected on the dreams, she began to see their deeper meaning. Her mother, though no longer physically present, was urging her to reconsider the investment. Trusting in this divine guidance, Anna chose to step back from the venture. Only later did she discover the risk she had narrowly avoided, a loss that could have been devastating. This example is but one of many instances where the divine uses dreams as a channel for communication. These sacred interactions remind us of the interconnectedness of all creation, transcending the boundaries of life and death. Yet, interpreting such dreams is not to be taken lightly. It requires prayer, a heart open to divine wisdom, and a spirit attuned to God's voice. Misinterpretation or neglect of these messages can result in missed opportunities for protection and blessing. It is important to approach these spiritual signs with reverence, acknowledging that they are a gift from the Creator. The act of prayer is central to understanding their meaning. Prayer creates a space for divine clarity to emerge, allowing one to discern the symbolic language of dreams. In these moments, the soul connects deeply with the divine, uncovering truths that the mind alone could never comprehend. This process of discernment is not just about understanding the message, but also about aligning one's will with God's plan. In this alignment, even the most challenging decisions become manageable, as the divine provides strength and wisdom to navigate the complexities of life. The faithful are called to trust that each message, each sign, is part of a greater purpose, one that unfolds in its own time and rhythm. Even as we embrace the guidance received through dreams and prayer, we must remember that the ultimate source of these blessings is God's infinite love and mercy. The spiritual journey is not one of isolation, but of constant communion with the Creator. Through prayer, the believer draws closer to the divine, finding solace in moments of despair and hope in the face of uncertainty. Padre Pio often emphasized the significance of paying close attention to the details of dreams, particularly those involving the deceased. He regarded these dreams not as mere coincidences, but as profound spiritual experiences carrying divine messages. According to Padre Pio, the atmosphere of the dream holds substantial weight. Was the environment serene, somber, or imbued with an air of urgency? Did the departed individual appear joyful, sorrowful, or intent on conveying a message? Such subtle cues, he taught, could unveil the essence of the dream and its spiritual implications. If the person in the dream seemed calm and at peace, it could signify their contentment in the afterlife and their desire to offer comfort. Conversely, a sense of urgency or distress in their demeanor might indicate an important warning or a plea requiring discernment and action. Symbols, Padre Pio believed, were another crucial component of these dreams. Rarely are the messages communicated in direct terms. Instead, they manifest through objects, scenarios, or actions that, while seemingly unrelated, carry deep spiritual meanings. A tree, a notebook, or even a simple gesture in the dream could symbolize something of profound importance. To unlock these meanings, Padre Pio advocated for prayer as the ultimate tool. Through prayer, one could ask for divine guidance and the clarity necessary to interpret these dreams accurately. He firmly believed that prayer acted as a bridge, connecting the dreamer with God's wisdom. Dreams involving the deceased, according to Padre Pio, often reflect unresolved aspects of our own lives. They may highlight an unresolved emotional conflict, an unfulfilled promise, or a neglected relationship. In this way, these dreams serve as a call to spiritual action. They are invitations from God, urging us to confront what we have long avoided, whether it is seeking forgiveness, extending reconciliation, or amending our ways. For instance, Padre Pio recounted the story of Laura, who repeatedly dreamed of her late father holding a notebook. Initially perplexed, she sought clarity through prayer and recalled her father's wish for her to continue documenting his childhood memories. For Padre Pio, this dream was a divine nudge, for Laura to honor her father's request and fulfill a task that carried both spiritual and emotional significance. Such stories, Padre Pio taught, illuminate the dual purpose of these dreams. They offer consolation to the living while also urging them toward meaningful action. He believed that by attentively engaging with dreams of the departed, we could uncover divine intentions and align our spiritual paths accordingly. The act of interpreting these dreams required a life steeped in prayer and contemplation. Padre Pio's advice was clear. After experiencing such a dream, one must pray for the soul of the departed. Even in cases where the dream brought peace and reassurance, prayer served to strengthen the spiritual bond between the living and the dead. For Padre Pio, praying for the souls of the departed was not just a spiritual duty, but an act of profound love, capable of bringing comfort to both the dreamer and the soul in the afterlife. Reflection, Padre Pio asserted, was equally vital. Dreams containing specific requests or messages demanded careful consideration. If a deceased person appeared troubled or conveyed a sense of urgency, it was essential to interpret such signs as divine intervention aimed at guiding or protecting the dreamer. In these instances, prayers should be directed not only to the soul of the departed, but also to God, seeking discernment to comprehend the dream's deeper meaning. Padre Pio often cautioned against dismissing these dreams as mere figments of imagination. To ignore such experiences, he warned, was to risk overlooking God's attempts to communicate something essential. Responding to the call of these dreams was a cornerstone of Padre Pio's teachings. Whether the dream urged reconciliation, forgiveness, or a specific action, the response should be immediate and heartfelt. He believed that ignoring such calls could hinder one's spiritual growth and obstruct divine grace. For Padre Pio, spiritual communication through dreams was a sacred phenomenon, free from coincidences. He insisted that every element of such dreams was divinely orchestrated, carrying a purpose that demanded attention. One of his most poignant examples involved a man named Marcos, who dreamt of his late father imploring him to reconnect with his estranged family. This dream, according to Padre Pio, was not merely a personal message, but a divine summons to restore broken bonds and heal familial wounds. The spiritual depth of such experiences, Padre Pio believed, lies in their capacity to awaken the dreamer's conscience and guide them toward spiritual enlightenment. They are reminders of our interconnectedness, both with the divine and with one another. In reflecting on these dreams, Padre Pio encouraged individuals to look beyond their surface and seek the divine purpose they concealed. By doing so, he maintained, one could align their life more closely with God's will, achieving both spiritual fulfillment and peace. Padre Pio's teachings resonate as a reminder of the sacred interplay between the physical and spiritual realms. Dreams of the deceased, he believed, were not merely moments of solace, but profound opportunities for transformation. Through prayer, reflection, and action, these dreams could lead us to resolve lingering conflicts, embrace forgiveness, and undertake acts of spiritual significance. For Padre Pio, the ultimate goal was always to draw closer to God, using every experience, whether in waking life or dreams, as a step towards spiritual enlightenment. The relationship between Marcos and his siblings had deteriorated after the death of their father, and he had distanced himself from them. In the dream, his father appeared distressed and asked him to reconcile with them. After reflecting and praying, Marcos decided to follow the advice of his father in the dream and sought reconciliation. From that moment, he restored family bonds and found a new inner peace. This demonstrates that dreams involving deceased loved ones not only bring comfort, but can also be a call for transformation and healing. According to Padre Pio's teachings, prayer and reflection are essential, but it is equally important to share such dreams with trusted individuals or a spiritual director. Often, others can offer perspectives that help us interpret and act correctly on the messages received. Sharing these dreams with people of faith can also deepen our understanding of what God may be communicating to us. To act upon dreams about the deceased involves an ongoing process of reflection, prayer, and personal transformation. For Padre Pio, such dreams are divine invitations to grow spiritually and draw closer to God and the spiritual realm. His teachings emphasize that dreams with departed loved ones are far more than subconscious experiences. They are moments imbued with profound spiritual significance. These dreams act as bridges between the physical and spiritual worlds, connecting us with those who have passed on. Padre Pio considered these experiences as instances where God conveys messages, whether through the soul of a loved one or through symbols and emotions present in the dream. A cornerstone of Padre Pio's teachings is that death does not sever spiritual bonds. Even after a family member has passed, their souls remain concerned for us, often interceding for us from heaven. When these souls appear in our dreams, it may be a sign of their continued presence in our lives, offering guidance, comfort, or even warnings about important matters. Ignoring such dreams would mean missing an opportunity to heed what the spiritual realm is trying to communicate. These dreams can have various meanings, as highlighted in this reflection. Sometimes they provide comfort, signaling that our loved ones are at peace and resting in the spiritual plane. At other times they may carry warnings, urging us to pay attention to certain aspects of our lives. Regardless of the nature of the dream, it is crucial to remain open to its message. Prayer is a powerful tool in this context, aiding us in seeking discernment and correctly interpreting divine messages. Padre Pio always emphasized the importance of prayer, especially after dreaming about someone who has passed away. Prayer not only comforts the soul of the person appearing in the dream, but also helps us gain clarity about its meaning. Through prayer, we can ask God for guidance to understand whether the dream conveys a warning, a message of comfort, or a call to action. Additionally, praying for these souls assists them on their spiritual journey, particularly if they need intercession to achieve complete peace. It is essential to remember that just as dreams can console or warn us, they can also call us to act. If a dream suggests forgiveness, reconciliation, or a specific change, it is vital not to disregard this call. As seen in the practical examples throughout this reflection, these dreams often lead us to significant decisions, whether to restore relationships or avoid imminent dangers. By heeding these messages, we can transform our lives and draw closer to God. Another critical aspect is the necessity of sharing these dreams with trusted individuals, such as a spiritual director or someone deeply knowledgeable about faith. Often others can help us perceive elements of the dream we may have overlooked or provide new insights into its interpretation. This is particularly helpful when the dream seems confusing or challenging to understand. In summary, dreams about the deceased are spiritual gifts, opportunities to connect with the divine plan and receive guidance. Have you ever awakened with the feeling of having had a powerful dream, only to find the memory fading within moments, as if it had never existed? While forgetting dreams may seem commonplace, Catholic teachings reveal a deeper spiritual truth behind this phenomenon. For Padre Pio, the fleeting nature of dreams may reflect the delicacy of divine communication, reminding us to remain attentive and receptive to the ways God reaches out to us. Dreams serve as subtle yet profound reminders of the interconnectedness of our earthly existence and the eternal spiritual realm. Recognizing their significance requires a heart attuned to faith, an openness to divine will, and a commitment to act on the lessons they convey. Through prayer and contemplation, we can bridge the gap between the transient nature of dreams and their lasting impact on our spiritual journey. Padre Pio often spoke of the importance of fostering a deep, prayerful connection with God, enabling us to discern His voice even in the briefest encounters. Dreams of the departed in this light are not merely psychological echoes, but divine whispers, urging us to reconcile, forgive, and renew our faith. They call us to reflect on the enduring ties that connect us with our loved ones and the ways these bonds, unbroken by death, shape our path toward God. Embracing these experiences with humility and prayer allows us to transform their spiritual significance into tangible actions, enriching our lives and drawing us closer to the divine. Prepare yourself to uncover insights that may transform your understanding of dreams and, even more profoundly, your perception of the soul and its communion with God. Imagine if the dreams you struggle to remember were not merely fragmented reflections of the subconscious, but intentional messages from heaven. These whispers of divine origin might seek to guide, warn, or comfort you amidst the complexities of life. The Catholic faith teaches us that spiritual or emotional barriers can hinder our ability to access these heavenly communications. It is essential to examine these teachings to better understand this phenomenon and discover how to transcend it. This journey may not only surprise you, but also serve as a key to unlocking a deeper connection with your faith and spiritual equilibrium. If you desire to fortify your spiritual life and begin to recall your dreams as potential divine messages, let us walk this path together. When we sleep, it may seem that our bodies alone are resting, but I tell you, the soul embarks on a profound journey. Within Christian tradition, there exists the concept of spiritual visitations. Guided by divine grace, the soul can experience encounters with celestial realities under the loving protection of God. These moments are not mere dreams, but are authentic spiritual blessings. During such visitations, angels may guide the soul to behold divine mysteries, offering consolation and clarity in times of trial. Across cultures and generations, countless testimonies describe profound experiences of divine nearness, whether through encounters with the Virgin Mary, saints, or even loved ones who have passed on. These spiritual encounters are often vivid and transcend earthly comprehension. Imagine soaring above your sleeping form, viewing your life from a renewed perspective, or journeying to heavenly realms that surpass your imagination. Some witnesses speak of encounters with radiant beings who bring messages of wisdom and divine purpose. Others recount moving reunions with departed loved ones, finding solace and understanding that defy human reasoning about life and death. These are not merely inspiring tales, they are manifestations of how God draws near to us through grace. But why do not all experience such blessings? The truth lies in the readiness of our hearts. Fear of the unknown, or the burdens of daily life, can obscure our awareness of these spiritual gifts. A heart weighed down by worry or doubt struggles to embrace the subtle yet profound graces that God offers. Through prayer, humility, and trust in divine mercy, we can gradually open ourselves to these extraordinary experiences. Have you ever felt a jolt in your sleep as though you were falling? That moment may signify your soul's readiness to encounter grace, interrupted by fear or uncertainty. It is as if your spirit whispers, "Not yet, but soon." Imagine overcoming this fear and surrendering fully to God's plan, allowing such moments to illuminate your life. To prepare for these experiences, we must cultivate a spirit of trust and a life steeped in prayer. As Padre Pio often reflected, prayer is the key to opening the gates of heaven. It aligns the soul with divine will and removes the clutter of earthly distractions. Prayer becomes not just a duty, but a channel through which grace flows, nurturing our readiness for these divine encounters. Why, then, do so many forget these experiences upon waking? The answer lies in the interplay between our spiritual and earthly natures. The human mind, influenced by fear and finite understanding, often resists what it cannot fully grasp. In the face of overwhelming spiritual realities, the mind, in its frailty, may erase these memories as a means of self-protection. Yet with spiritual discipline, the heart can learn to embrace such moments as gifts from God, rather than threats to its limited understanding. Consider this. These forgotten experiences are not lost. They remain as seeds planted deep within, waiting to bear fruit at the appointed time. With faith and perseverance, we can nurture these seeds, allowing their wisdom and grace to guide us. Trust in God's timing, for He reveals what we are ready to understand when our hearts and minds are prepared to receive it. As Padre Pio frequently reminded those who sought his counsel, spiritual growth is not a sprint, but a pilgrimage. Along this path, moments of grace often come disguised, requiring faith to unveil their true significance. These experiences, whether remembered or forgotten, are never wasted. They are part of a divine tapestry woven with the threads of God's love and our trust in His providence. To those who seek to experience these graces more fully, I encourage a renewed dedication to prayer and contemplation. Approach your spiritual life with a childlike trust, free from fear and open to the mysteries of God. Let your heart echo the prayer of surrender. Lord, I am ready for your will to be done in my life. In this posture of humility and openness, the soul becomes a vessel for divine encounters. Remember, the spiritual journey is not about seeking extraordinary experiences for their own sake, but about deepening your relationship with God. Each step taken in faith, each prayer offered with sincerity, brings you closer to Him. Trust that these moments of grace, however fleeting, are signs of His enduring presence and love in your life. Rest in this assurance, and let your dreams become a sacred space where heaven and earth meet, where your soul communes with its Creator. From Padre Pio's perspective, the notion of a protective mechanism shielding our consciousness aligns with the divine plan to nurture and protect the soul. The human spirit, bound by its mortal limitations, often experiences profound encounters with the divine or extraordinary insights that the mind cannot fully comprehend. This veil of forgetfulness is not a flaw, but a gift from God, guarding the soul from being overwhelmed while preparing it for spiritual maturity. The moments when we wake with an indescribable sense that something extraordinary has occurred are glimpses of God's grace at work within us. These are invitations to deepen our faith and trust that even what remains hidden serves a higher purpose. Spiritual blockages, whether caused by worldly distractions, fear, or negative influences, can hinder the soul's journey toward union with God. Stress and fear are not merely emotional states, but spiritual weights that cloud the clarity needed to perceive God's presence. Padre Pio often reminded the faithful that these burdens must be surrendered to God through prayer, confession, and acts of humility. By doing so, the soul becomes lighter, more receptive to the divine graces that flow constantly from the heart of Christ. The phenomenon of déjà vu, or vivid spiritual recollections, can be understood as fragments of the soul's eternal connection to God, and the mysteries of heaven. Padre Pio believed that the soul, being immortal, often recognizes moments that transcend earthly existence. These experiences are not accidents, but reminders of our divine origin and destiny. When the conscious mind struggles to piece together these experiences, it is a sign to lean on faith, trusting that God will reveal all in His time. To overcome spiritual barriers, Padre Pio emphasized the power of prayer and the sacraments. Before sleep, a time when the mind is most vulnerable and open to divine communication, one must prepare the soul to be in communion with God. He often advised praying the Rosary or invoking the intercession of the Virgin Mary to sanctify the night and protect against spiritual darkness. Simple acts, like placing a crucifix or holy water near the bed, serve as tangible expressions of faith and an invitation for God's grace to dwell in the home. Preparing the environment for rest is akin to cultivating a sacred space where the soul can encounter God. Padre Pio often compared this to tuning a radio. The heart and mind must be aligned with God's frequency. By fostering a tranquil and prayerful atmosphere, free from worldly distractions, one creates the conditions necessary for spiritual blessings to manifest. This practice extends beyond the physical environment to include the purification of thoughts and intentions, focusing the mind on God's will and the hope of His revelation. Prayer before sleep is not merely a ritual, but a profound act of surrender. Padre Pio often encouraged the faithful to pray with childlike simplicity, entrusting their worries and desires to God. He suggested specific prayers for discernment, such as asking the Lord to illuminate the spirit and reveal His will. Such prayers open the soul to receive the graces offered during rest and provide strength to carry out His will in daily life. Recording dreams and spiritual impressions is another practice Padre Pio would likely endorse. Keeping a journal at hand to capture fleeting memories upon waking reinforces the connection between the conscious and the subconscious mind. Padre Pio himself often reflected deeply on his own spiritual visions, using them as a source of guidance and inspiration. A dream journal, while seemingly mundane, can reveal patterns and divine messages over time, helping the faithful discern God's voice amidst the noise of daily life. Sacred symbols and sacramentals hold immense significance in creating a spiritually fortified environment. Padre Pio often spoke of the Rosary as a weapon against evil and a source of comfort for the weary soul. Having these holy items near serves as a constant reminder of God's presence and love, anchoring the soul in faith even during moments of doubt or fear. Using holy water to bless the sleeping space further consecrates it as a place of peace and divine encounter. Lastly, the power of intention cannot be understated. Padre Pio believed that words spoken in faith hold transformative power. By expressing a heartfelt desire to align with God's will and to recall His messages, one demonstrates a readiness to cooperate with divine grace. Simple affirmations of faith, spoken before sleep, are acts of trust that open the heart to receive God's gifts. In every aspect of this journey, prayer, preparation, and surrender, the guiding principle is a deep reliance on God's love and providence. Padre Pio's life and teachings continually emphasized that the soul's ultimate fulfillment lies in its union with God, a journey made possible through humility, faith, and the daily practice of opening oneself to His grace. These practices are not mere suggestions, but pathways to a closer relationship with the divine, enabling the soul to transcend earthly limitations and embrace the eternal. Following these practices with devotion, you not only prepare to receive the blessings of God in your rest, but also fortify your faith and deepen your bond with Him. Padre Pio would remind us that these experiences are not mere coincidences, but manifestations of God's loving plan to guide and protect us. In the silence of sleep, there is an opportunity to reflect on the impact of spiritual practices and the fruits they bear. One essential practice is to attune the mind with affirmations before sleep, directing it toward openness to divine experiences. Though it may seem simple, the power of words and intention is immeasurable. Repeating phrases such as, "With God's help, I will remember the messages and dreams He sends me," or "I am open to heavenly revelations during my rest," serves as a bridge between human consciousness and divine will. These affirmations, when repeated with true devotion as a nightly prayer, condition the mind and spirit to welcome the graces and messages God may wish to bestow. This habit, practiced with consistency, enriches the spiritual connection, making divine signs clearer and more accessible upon waking. In addition to these affirmations, cultivating a conscious awareness of dreams and the divine signs within them is transformative. Keeping a dream journal by your bedside is a valuable method to achieve this. Writing down recollections immediately upon waking strengthens the bond between conscious memory and God's messages conveyed during rest. This act of recording becomes a prayer in itself, an expression of willingness to listen and understand divine will. How often have we awoken with a sense of an important message, only to lose it moments later? A journal preserves these revelations and uncovers patterns that might contain answers to our prayers. On another note, the idea of lucid dreaming, when viewed through a Christian lens, can become a profound experience of divine grace. It allows the soul to become aware during rest, offering a space for prayer, discernment, and alignment with God's purpose. In this state, one can focus on spiritual communion, directing thoughts toward Christ. To encourage such experiences, small reality checks during the day can be helpful. Asking, "Am I living this moment according to God's will?" and observing the surroundings through the lens of faith can form a habit of spiritual awareness. This mindfulness, carried into dreams, fosters a deeper inner dialogue with the Lord. This practice can also be supported by a pre-sleep visualization in which one envisions the soul ascending toward the light of Christ, embraced by His mercy and love. Imagine the peace of surrendering all burdens to the Lord, feeling His presence enveloping you as your spirit becomes unshackled from the strains of the day. Such an act of total surrender prepares the soul to receive divine grace more abundantly, not only in dreams, but throughout life. Padre Pio often emphasized that spiritual experiences should be firmly rooted in faith and love for God, untainted by fear or doubt, which could hinder the soul's ability to rest in His presence. Practices such as Christian meditation, praying the rosary, or reading sacred scripture before sleep are secure paths to deeper communion with the Lord. These practices not only open the soul to heavenly revelations, but also renew the inner strength necessary to face daily challenges. Imagine waking from a profound spiritual experience, carrying a sense of clarity and the long-sought answer to a prayer. Such moments, approached with faith and devotion, connect us to the divine wisdom dwelling within, facilitating emotional healing, breaking negative cycles, and discerning God's true purpose for our lives. By dedicating time and effort to these practices, we move closer to a life transformed by the love and grace of Christ. Padre Pio would encourage us to take this step, opening our hearts to God's will and allowing Him to work within us, even as we rest. Among the profound benefits of such practices is the healing of both emotional and spiritual wounds. These moments of grace may even include encounters with angels, saints, or the radiant light of God, offering deeper understanding of our struggles and release from the emotional barriers that impede our journey forward. Through these sacred encounters, burdens are lifted and the path to Christ becomes illuminated with divine light. Padre Pio's perspective would emphasize trust in God's providence and the immense power of prayer as tools to overcome adversity and align the soul with his divine will. In dreams and moments of quiet reflection, we find not only answers, but a profound renewal of the spirit, a foretaste of the peace and joy found in his eternal presence. Rest, then, is no mere cessation of activity. It becomes an active communion with the Creator, a gift of renewal and an opportunity to deepen our faith. The journey of spiritual growth is not confined to waking hours, but extends into every aspect of our being, including the sacred space of rest. Embracing these practices with Padre Pio's faith-filled perspective can turn the simplest moments of quiet into transformative encounters with the divine. Are you ready to take this step, entrusting your dreams and rest to God's loving hands and allowing Him to guide and transform you even in the stillness of the night? May this openness lead to a life enriched by His grace, as your spirit becomes ever more attuned to His presence, even in the silent hours. Have you ever felt an unexplainable peace after an intense dream or a deep consolation when reuniting with a departed loved one? These are not mere coincidences, but are moments of grace permitted by God for the healing and growth of your soul. Through these divine encounters, the soul finds its way back to the sacred truth that beyond the veil of the physical world lies a reality shaped entirely by God's infinite love and wisdom. Reflecting on these moments with a prayerful heart allows you to perceive the divine hand guiding your existence and to discover the purpose that God has inscribed upon your soul. As Padre Pio, I urge you to embrace these experiences as gifts from God. They are gentle whispers from the Creator, calling you to align your heart and spirit with His eternal will. When you begin to acknowledge that your soul is immortal and that God's plan for you is far greater than the trials of this earthly life, a profound transformation begins to unfold. The challenges you face no longer overwhelm, but instead become instruments of grace, shaping you for eternity. Living with this divine awareness fills you with courage to face life's adversities, clarity in pursuing your path, and trust in the infinite wisdom of God's providence. Such moments of grace bring you closer to God, fostering a deeper union not only with Him, but with all souls and His creation. This interconnectedness, woven by His divine hand, reveals that the people you meet, the joys you experience, and the challenges you endure are all integral to your journey of sanctification. Understanding this truth fills the heart with a peace that is unshakable and enduring, a peace that flows only from the heart of Christ. And, as you walk this spiritual path with greater fidelity, you will find that God places before you the people, opportunities, and circumstances that lead you further into His plan. These are no random occurrences, but a part of His grand design, drawing you closer to Him. Trust in this divine providence and allow it to fill your life with meaning and fulfillment. If you have found yourself here today, it is because your soul longs for more closeness to God, greater clarity in your purpose, and deeper spiritual understanding. This longing is itself a grace, a calling to delve into the mysteries of faith and unlock the divine potential within you. Remember, every spiritual experience, whether it is a dream, a prayerful insight, or a moment of profound stillness, is a tool God uses to draw you closer to Him and to sanctify your life. This journey of faith is only beginning. Share this reflection with others who seek to grow in the love of God. Together, as a community united in Christ, we can bear witness to His wonders and become vessels of His grace. Have you ever experienced a moment of spiritual clarity or a dream that revealed God's presence in your life? Share your story with us in the comments below. Your testimony could be the light that someone else needs to find hope and strength on their path. May God bless you abundantly, and I look forward to seeing you in our next reflection. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more spiritual insights and reflections.